So the interview with the news people just happened, and I caught this guy to do a little interview too. So first of all, who are you and what are you doing in our skate park?
My name is Mike Polk. I'm working for WKYC, the NBC affiliate here in Cleveland, and I'm interviewing an 8-year-old boy here at this skate park because my job rules.
Yeah, absolutely. And so my question to you is, first, is this your first experience with BMX?
Actually, I got to interview Huck, the little champion that we're referring to, about a year ago before he had made it big, kind of got in on the ground floor. But this is my second time in this fabulous facility. I rode bikes as a kid, but I was never any good at it or anything like that, but I think it's amazing that this place is here, and I think it's one of Cleveland's better kept secrets, unfortunately, and I wish it weren't such a secret.
Well, I think that's changing with time for sure.
Good.
And there's more and more bike parks that are being built, and I think those wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for Rays. But I'm curious what you think about BMX from what you've seen and experienced being here. I'm curious.
I think it's like this amazing world that a lot of people don't know about. I was telling the producer I'm here with, John, if I was a kid, this would have been my dream if something like this existed. I'm from Youngstown, so I mostly just played in parking lots of closed strip bars where there was broken glass all over the place and stuff like that. We didn't have an opportunity for places like this, but this is amazing for kids, and I'm surprised it's not more packed than it is. Is your nightmare for this to become more popular than it is so that you guys can't move in here as well as you do?
Nope. Not even a little bit. Like when we were talking in the interview and I talked about how I don't get nervous at all when it comes to coming here and knowing that there's going to be people who are going to see me and want to see what I'm doing and all of that, and I don't care at all about riding in a giant group of people because I'm just out here doing my thing.
You're also good at what you do, though. If you were somebody who wasn't as good, you might be a little more careful, cautious when you have 100 people around you. You'd be fine. You wouldn't fall down. I'd be the one who would die if our tires touch.
Yeah, and that's definitely a thing of younger kids being nervous to ride around people who are good, sure. And that happens. It definitely happens. I remember being that kid to an extent, and I think BMX is the kind of thing where it's it's in your blood. If it's in you, you stick with it. And a place like this on a day, we're here on a random Wednesday, and it's pretty, you can ride.
Bustling, yeah, but there's room here to move.
Yeah. So on a Saturday morning, you might come here and that area out there in the lobby will be completely packed. You can't move in there.
We called it butts to nuts when I was a kid.
Yeah, that.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think that would be amazing. I would love nothing more.
Yeah, if you were a kid, that'd be great. Especially in the winter, when you can't be outside and stuff. This is an amazing facility. I don't know what this used to be, but I'm glad whatever productive factory this used to be back in the 70s that unfortunately closed due to economic change, I'm glad that we are at least making the most of this one and it's not just a closed haunted factory.
Yeah, and then so I guess a nice follow-up to the last question would be, from your perspective, maybe on the outside looking in, how would you grow something like BMX bigger towards a more wider audience?
I genuinely think it's just about exposure, stuff like this, and people knowing that this is here, because again, there are a lot of people who would love to take advantage of a space like this, especially parents with kids probably who would love to have them go somewhere to get some energy out, maybe in the winter.
Yeah.
And once word gets out about places like this existing, I think that's really the only thing holding it back. Like I said, it's a little hard to get here, a little hard to find, but once you find it, it's obviously totally worth it.
Yeah, I think you're totally onto it with the exposure side of things, and that's something that I work with on a weekly basis, just talking to industry people. Last night even, I talked to a product manager for Haro, a company that's been around forever. Okay. I mean, Bob Haro is the guy who's credited with a lot of the foundation of BMX. And we talk about these things and how do we get BMX out there and what does the industry need as far as products and prices and economic side of these things. And I just think it's really interesting to get the perspective of somebody who is totally outside looking in, how do we make this thing bigger?
Yeah, but it really is. I think it's just a matter of exposure. Once something becomes, we were all doing stories. I'm not comparing the thing because I know you've been around a very long time and I know what goes into it. But we did a lot of stuff with pickleball over the summer because pickleball took off.
Really?
And I don't know why pickleball became a hot thing, but I found myself being sent to do 2 different stories on this hot new trend. Now, I don't know who pickleball's marketing person is. I didn't personally care for the sport myself very much, but it became a thing, and it just this would have to get that same kind of heat. Not that BMX doesn't already have that, but this facility in general, it's insane that there aren't more people here in Cleveland.
Yeah, it's incredible. And it's funny you bring up pickleball because there's a skate park a new skate park going into a town called Orrville, Ohio.
I'm familiar with Orrville, sure.
And we were at a meeting for this, a fundraising event, and they talked about how crazy the fun side of things for like a skate park being put in, a public park being put in, because there's people who will donate a big amount of money towards a pickleball court, but it might not be enough. So the city then becomes obligated to finish the job, and then so that's why things like a public pickleball court will happen before a public skate park.
They end up on the hook for it.
Yeah, so it's just interesting of a concept.
Different world.
Have you seen any of like the competitions or anything on TV, like X Games or anything like that?
I have fallen asleep from time to time during like a Cleveland Cavaliers game, watching that on like basic cable or something like that. And then after I'll wake up and like poker will be on, and then poker goes off the air, and then BMX will come on after poker, after a Cavs game on basic cable, and I'll catch myself checking it out for a little bit, but I have no idea what the hell's going on or how they're evaluating each other. So I just kind of like, but I can appreciate the art and the beauty of it.
Yeah. So as a person, as a
human,
to want to watch something like that, what would make you want to watch something like BMX?
I think you would probably for the basic sports consumer. I think that they would do a little bit of the WWE thing, make sure that you have personalities on each of these people.
Yeah.
And if they don't have a personality, create one for them in some way, give them some sort of a persona. If you're trying to go that route, if you want to keep it pure, just all about the sport, but if you're trying to increase viewership, you have to remember that Americans are simple. We want to be pushed in one direction or the other. We need things put out right in front of us.
Yeah.
We're not so good on technicalities. We're like, oh, he kept his tire that much tighter on that thing.
Right.
We don't care about that. We're like, who's fighting? Who are enemies? If that guy hate that guy, that's what we want.
Yep.
For better or worse. So if you want to tap into that, that'd be your best bet probably, is creating some sort of human conflicts within and just personalities within the organization. Also, point scoring that people can really understand, laying it out for people and saying, this is why this is that, this is why this is that. We just really need spoon-fed, and don't make any assumptions that we know how impressive you guys are being and for what specific reasons.
I could totally see that, and I could see how what is happening currently needs to be more. It needs to be more than just the best guys in the world doing their best tricks in the world.
Right.
Put on TV.
What's the storyline?
Yeah, the people in what I've learned through doing what I do, the most important thing there could be is the connection to the person who's watching it. Totally. No connection, nobody's gonna watch.
And that's why that's why even when we did our first story with Huck, this kid, that's why a lot of people connected with him, because not only is he really good at what he does, but he's a likable kid, and you don't hate him. He could be completely insufferable if he wanted to be. He's an extremely talented BMX champion in 2nd grade. He could be an awful kid.
Yeah.
But because he has good parents and good support system around him like yourself, he ends up being also a decent human being who doesn't take this stuff for granted and is still enjoying himself clearly.
Yes.
And that matters. We gotta like the people that we are watching. Or hate them, but you gotta get some emotional response out of them one way or the other.
Yep. You gotta create a hero and a villain.
Sure.
That is enlightening, actually. And I think that's something that whoever watches this could find value in for sure.
I hope so.
I appreciate it.
No problem, man.
I heard you're a comedian.
Time to time. I used to do that a little bit more. Now I'm semi-retired. Not necessarily by choice. Nobody's begging me to do it or anything. But I do it every once in a while. I do like a month. Every month I do a show at Pickwick and Frolic, the comedy club downtown.
Nice.
It's like a variety show, and so I still get to scratch that itch, but mostly I'm just working at the station now.
Nice. Yeah. So where can people find stuff you've done, maybe your comedy or anything like that?
Sure. Just go to WKYC.com. That's where I work at the Cleveland affiliate, and check out stories with Huck and interesting characters around Cleveland. And thanks for watching.
Sick.
Nailed it.
All right. Thanks for watching. Check him out. I'll link his Instagram or whatever there is below. and hopefully you'll subscribe so we can see you tomorrow for another one. At the end of my videos, I do a fun thing where I either headbutt the camera or do one of the, can you want to?
Oh, you want me to punch it?
Yep.
Okay.
Actually do it too, but not hard.
All right, here we go.